Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Today in Mañana. I'm Alex. This is Xavier. We're very excited to have you joining us this morning on a chilly morning in Charlottesville, Virginia. But I like to say that's a beautiful opportunity to get your café con leche, get into your cozy place, and watch some Today in Mañana. And we're going to have a fantastic show lined up for you. We're going to be joined shortly by Harvey Mayorga. He's one of the amazing owners of Guajiros Miami Eatery right here in Charlottesville. Going to be talking some exciting news with them. Probably some, I'm sure we'll talk some food, some drinks, a little bit of everything. And then later in the show by Christine Fairfield, the executive director, and Michael Slon, music director of the Oratorio Society of Virginia, to talk their upcoming holiday concert, Christmas concert on Saturday, December 16th. Be sure there's two opportunities to see it that day, so there's no excuses.
That's right,
for not seeing it.
I mean, it's just a lot of fun. That's
exactly.
a great show.
If you have daytime plans, there's an evening one. If you have evening plans, there's a daytime one. So it's a win-win all the way around. So we'll talk with them about that and so much more. Love being here on the I Love CVille Network. Judah behind the camera, making us all look good this morning. And of course, a couple shout-outs. Love our presenter, Emergent Financial Services, and, of course, our amazing partners, Matthias, Realty, Craddock, Sirius Insurance, Tassel Hill, Cider, Forward, Adelante. Just love, and you, our fantastic audience, thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to send us any questions, comments, thoughts. We welcome them all. We love them all. So, Xavier, how you doing?
No, I'm doing great. Listen, it's great to have you back, even though Michael does a fantastic job. I have to admit, he's learned tremendously from you, not from me, because I have no idea what you do, how you do it, and things like that. I like to shoot from the hip, as you know. But I wanted to say that, I think it was 2 days ago, I had a breakfast, and I finally had a café con leche. I always had café con leche growing up. But now I just kind of drink American coffee with a little bit of milk, so that's not really café con leche. That's like, that's really just café, with a little bit of leche, right? But, and of course, they didn't say café leche, it was a latte, right? But it's more milk than, and I really enjoyed it. I forgot how much I enjoy that. So the only thing was missing was a little bit of the leche condensada that I used to put like 1 spoon, because that's what really gives it the life and the sugar, and, so... So anyway, yes, a nice warm café con leche today will go a long way.
Exactly, especially how they make it at Guajiros, because they
had that Danilo special
thing.
Yeah,
the Danilo special is in its own category.
I just don't know what he does, but that thing is
I
so
have no
good.
idea what happens behind the scenes there, but but even the café con leche, it's the way it's the caramelization,
of the sugar
in there. I wish I had one.
It's interesting because so many places, and I don't want to. Demeaning or anybody, but so many places have espresso, but when they make the espresso, it's just watery. It just doesn't quite taste like espresso. It just tastes like kind of strong American coffee. Mm-hmm. But when you go to Guajiros, it's just the flavor and the spuma, and of course Daniel's special is something else. But it's just so good. It's like like you're drinking it. It's just you feel good. It's like you enjoy it. I don't know what it is.
It really is some of the best. I don't say this lightly. It's some of the best coffee I have outside of Europe.
Yeah,
which is just
you're really meaning Italy, because even Spain doesn't make as
even
good.
Spain doesn't make it quite as good.
And Greece definitely didn't. They used to have that Turkish coffee with mud.
You have to use the.
I tried a few times. Wait a minute, I need a spoonful of this.
That's true. Really, outside of Italy, it's some of the best coffee that's around. It's fantastic. Chadwick Doyle, thanks for joining us this morning, liking the show. I saw a couple other people. Matthias Yohn, thanks for liking the show this morning and watching. Got some big fans already joining in this morning. So I say we jump into it.
Oh, of course, we have to.
We're already
talking about Daniel's
We're already talking about it. Exactly.
Who else can be here but
Dr. Elizabeth Urpí watching the show this morning. Thanks for watching. So we're really excited to welcome to the show this morning Harvey Mayorga. He is one of the owners of Guajiros Miami Eatery. Harvey, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Always good to have you.
We did the Today Mañana part.
Buenos dias.
How was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. Lots of family. 12 of the 29 cousins got together with their spouses and kids, and it's about 52 people.
Just a small get-together.
It's a small get-together, obviously. Just a third of the family. But it was great. A lot of my cousins came in to see the town, to see the Guajiros and what we're doing, and just to hang out. It was great.
Wonderful. That's terrific.
So you're trying to show them the place. Had some of them not seen Guajiros yet?
Some of them have never been here, so that was the first time seeing the place. They actually went to visit the new place. And then what we're doing with it, so they were very excited about that. One of my cousins, she's been here. Mirta, she's been here when we first opened the original Guajiros in 29 North.
29.
So she's seen now all three.
She's seen the current one, and then they saw the what we're working on.
Wow.
So she's I think the only one that's been here throughout the whole thing. So
That's
it
awesome.
was a great time.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that. I was so excited. I went on vacation. I came back, and I'm like, oh, there's a new place for Guajiros that's even been in the future. How did that turn out?
So just growth of the business. You know, like we love the current spot. It has a feeling, it has a vibe. Everybody kind of loved that spot. You know, very homey. Mm-hmm. But it's some of customers might know that might be watching right now. It's long waits during the weekends, and we're limited to the building,
right, exactly,
to the space. So it's time to grow again, and from our original spot, and so we decided, we've been looking for a while without not thinking about moving, but just to see what's out there, and the Peloton station came into our radar, and we look into it. Got together with Virgil Velasco, Virgil?
Yeah, Virgil,
great
Storyhouse.
Great friend of mine, great friend of Guajiros, and I reached out to him. I was like, "Can you help me out with this?" So he got the ball rolling over there, and we're able to negotiate, a deal to move into that new spot. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
That's a nice spot too. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love
and it's
it.
got some parking.
10 parking spots.
There you are.
Which is 10 parking spots more than
you
we
have
right now. So it's good. I was a little nervous, because the access, being off of West Main and all that. But, my dad being my dad, he went and sat there with a cup of coffee and 6:30 in the morning for 3 hours just to count people, and he's like, more people walk by here than they do in front of all this cars. More cars drive by here than they do on West Main. I was like, all right. So I guess,
I feel like you've kind of reached the point that, so many people know of Guajiros, and I know so many people that go to that spot specifically because it's Guajiros. In other words, they're not like, I'm downtown, I'm on West Main, where do I want to go? It's like, no, I'm going to Guajiros for breakfast this morning. Like, I'm planning it, and then you end up on there, and then maybe you walk around West Main afterwards.
Exactly.
But I feel like there's already kind of that built-up knowledge of, Guajiros is out there, and people take... You've reached the point, sometimes I'll go in and kind of, when I'm waiting for the table or something on a busy Saturday or something, and I'll kind of look around, and I'll be like... You can kind of pick out the people in Guajiros that are bringing relatives there. That you'll be two people and they're kind of pointing things out. And I'm like, they've been here before, but their parents who are here today have not. Like they're like bringing people in.
That happens a lot, a lot. Thankfully, we're very blessed that we have a big following and repeated customers. Mm-hmm. We love you all, it's like a family keeps growing. Like people that come here that. We've been busy enough at some point where we have customers that come here so often that they're like, "Do you want me to help?" I know where everything is. No, it's fine. Your table will be ready soon. And then they bring people in. They're very excited to show. We are, as you all know, big into talking about what's on the walls and the meaning of it,
That's right.
and Sebastian's art collection, and Nilo's plans, and so everything has a meaning in Guajiros. It's not just random props; it's stuff that has a story behind it. The majority of it, at least. So we tell those stories. We're storytellers, and I think that what makes us what we are, and makes the vibe of the restaurant what it is. So. People learn those stories, and then they bring people over, and they're joining that family. It was like, oh, let me tell you about this, and that's very exciting for people. So, believe it or not, we were a little worried about that, moving that to the new location in Peloton Station, the old Peloton Station. But I think we can make it happen. We made it at the original. We did it here. It'll take a little bit to build, but I'm confident that we can bring that back.
Well, you forgot the most important thing, right? I know this. When you said that, that area there is kind of homey, but in reality, it's a nice spot. But what makes it homey are three things. One is you guys are always you walk in there and you feel like your family. Even, I mean, granted, we already know each other well, but the minute you walk in, you feel like your family because you guys are so open, vivacious, right? Two, the food is just fabulous, right? So, I mean, because if the food is lousy, it's like, okay, they're nice people, it's a nice spot, but, I got to eat, But the food is so good and again, it's the kind of food that makes you, it's comfort, it's delicious, right? And so you want to go back. And that's why when people come, it's like, no, man, you got to go to Guajiros because between the service, between the owners, they're helping, right? And they just bring everything together. And then the story. So it's just the whole package is what makes it go, right? So, the place is great, but this place, I guarantee it's going to be greater. Yeah. It's just,
not too bad for three brothers that are winging it. No. We did it right.
Not bad at all. Already a bunch of fans tuning in. Harvey Mayorga Salinas, that's
my dad,
the senior. Yep, the senior Harvey. Ernest Apadra, Damon Rotoli, Mali Nicaragua, Monica Miller from Montana joining us this morning. So Johnny Ornelas, Amigo del Programa says good morning. Good morning, gentlemen. He's always such a gentleman. Buenos dias, Johnny. So tell us, I'm curious, what are some of and I know obviously there's, when you get a new space, probably like a gazillion dreams, like, we could do this, we could do this. What are some of the things you're most excited about or saying, hey, this might be a possibility or something like that?
So I'm personally excited about the bar, just because we've never had one, and obviously I run the cocktail program there. So having the option of 15 people bar, it's really exciting.
That's a nice bar, 15 people.
It's a big bar,
wow.
And so see what comes out of that. You will see night shifts opening up on the regular now. Awesome. Maybe not 7 days a week, but I'm very excited about that part. And then, everything that is happening, it's the vision of where all the art is going to go, but at the same time, we got to clean the grease traps and when everything's happening, it's like I want to get to hang the paintings on the wall, but you got to pressure clean the floor. So all that's happening, it's very exciting though. So it's the third time we do it. Hopefully, it's the last time. The next time, it's going to be a new place for a second location.
There you go. Well, some people may not know this, but like you're a mixologist, an actual.
I'm a guy who makes cocktails sometimes.
Yes, I mean you make some good, especially we got to talk about it, especially this time of year.
Coquito.
The coquito.
Just so
tell
good.
people a little bit about that, because I think sometimes, people know eggnog, but I don't think a lot of people.
Yeah, so it's not too popular in Nicaragua, but where we're from, but it is definitely a thing to drink in Miami. It's very popular. Puerto Ricans do it. I want to believe the Dominicans as well, but mostly Puerto Ricans. And I've taken couple of different recipes from friends that have shared with me or stuff that I've seen online, giving my own little twist as well. And I think I have it down to where, 80% to where I want it to be. But that's coming soon. So Ashley, which is our bartender, barista, she has she loves coquito and has a recipe. So we'll be working on some recipe for this year, and hopefully, first week of December we'll have some available.
So it's just
it's
like
coconut, it's cream of coconut. So imagine like
is there rum in there?
It's mostly rum. It's definitely rum. It's a coquito will be like your Caribbean eggnog. So what's available in the Caribbean? You have coconut milk and coconut cream, and I take some clove and clavo de olor, what's it called, anise, cinnamon, and make a tea out of it. So and you mix it up with some condensed milk and cream of coconut and rum. Lots of rum.
Once you say condensed
milk and rum.
We're done. Good if there was like condensada.
So that's definitely happening soon. Last year we had it, I think, only by the little 2 cocktail container. This year it's probably going to be more accessible. It's kind of like 1 drink.
Nice.
A little bit. I don't know.
Who knows?
It's always a work in progress.
So many, there's so many options.
It is so good though.
It is.
It's
really
delicious.
Delicious. Everything does. We've had obviously the limonada is spectacular, but then there's the tropical Palmer.
The tropical Palmer,
The
It's our hibiscus tea and our limeade. So,
with the limeade.
we went with like the Arnold Palmer, which is going to be the, lemonade and sweet tea, or unsweet tea, whatever. We did if Arnold Palmer lived in Miami. So we took limeade, we prefer to do limeade or lemonade. And then we did hibiscus tea, which we make in-house as well. Mix those up, and it is very popular.
Yeah, it is. That's what I have all the time. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Limeade is good, hibiscus is good, but when you mix it, I don't know, it's so refreshing. Though. I love it. Yeah.
Exactly. Paul Stiera says, "Let's go, Harvey." Elizabeth says one of her favorite things is the queso frito.
Yeah,
the queso frito is.
I had a boss one time before I joined the restaurant full time. I was working somewhere else, and I took my boss, queso frito, just as a gift, whatever. And I was coming in late, so I was like, "Hey, I brought you this." So he's like, "Man, it's what heaven tastes like." Maybe not that, but a bit short to it, very close to it. My son eats that. Like he comes in with me or whatever. We might be close. It's like, "Papa, can I get some queso frito?" Well, we're closed right now. Everything is off. It's like, "Yeah, but go to the kitchen. Make queso frito." All right, let's go. Give me 20 minutes. I'll be ready.
So perfectly done, and then the sweetness of the sauce that comes with it.
Yeah, it's. I have a funny story about that sauce. When we first opened in 29 North, next to Coors Brothers, someone sends me a link, and then that recipe is very simple. It's 3 ingredients, and it's a secret, so I won't tell you. But someone sends me a link and says, "Oh, I saw this online," and it's like someone those recipes they try to replicate, like McDonald's secret sauce or whatever. Someone tried to replicate our chipotle aioli, which is what we do for the queso frito, and I go in and it's like 7 ingredients, 2 different types of mustards, and I'm like, "This is amazing! I really want to do this one, though, but obviously no. So it's just 3 ingredients. It's very simple. Just having to replicate. It was 7 ingredients. I was like, this sounds
amazing, right? That's amazing. That's amazing. So you get something, you get that sauce. It is so good that the assumption is it's just got to be so much stuff in there, right? And somebody tries to replicate it. It's like, no, it's just 3 ingredients.
I can remember. I've tried to look in the couple of years ago. I tried to look for that link and I can't find it. I would love to meet that person. Back then I didn't even think about it. Now that we've gone to where we are, I'm like, I really want to meet this person and give that person the recipe.
Especially since they put so much
effort absolutely. It's
try so hard.
I really don't mind giving you the recipe.
Yeah.
Now, are you planning to add any more dishes? I mean, hopefully you're not taking away my favorite dishes.
What are your favorite dishes?
All of them, but that's the problem.
There is going to be some movement in the menu for sure. Okay. Sebastian, my brother who runs the kitchen, he's in charge of that. I'm official tester. I just eat.
Wow. Listen, if you have any help with that, just let me know.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's working on improving the menu. We are working on night shift as well. So I like to tell people, I don't know if he thinks about it this way, but I tell people that the night shift is where Sebas has fun. Test recipes and stuff like that. Of course. But he's working with the kitchen team on moving the menu around a little bit, always to improve.
Of course.
It's very hard for us to take away items because everything is so popular. Like, it's not a big menu, it's not pages or anything.
No, exactly.
So it's limited enough that you will notice when something comes off the menu. Yeah. We've done a few tests with, for example, the huevos rancheros. It's something we had every day of the week, and it moved enough, but the sauce is made every day, and it's time consuming, and it's a lot of work that goes into it. So he moved it to available only Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. And it's funny to see the trends on numbers in the organization. I like to look at numbers. And he was saying, like, I was looking at it, and it's like, we sell as much as we used to sell during the week, but on 3 days. And it's people coming in on a Tuesday, they're going to have huevos rancheros. Like, no, it's only available on the weekends. They'll come back.
I come back on the weekend.
For the weekend. and I love it. It's like, and the intention is not that. It's, it's just that it makes sense to us.
Of course, yeah.
I think there's also a certain excitement to be like, oh man, I want to go on the weekends because I know there's going to be something there that's not there every day.
Absolutely,
It's
yeah.
special.
It's special, yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like a special, exactly, though, but a weekly special. So. A lot of the things that we do, they're not intentional. They're just us trying to figure it out. How do we do this? And then it turns into like, oh, this is the right way to do it. You know?
Something you got to do as you grow. I think as a business, you have to experiment.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you kind of there's a saying, I forget who said it once, and we read it in like a business book or something, where it's like, if you're not growing, you're shrinking.
Yeah.
Like there's no such thing as like I'm exactly the same.
Where I'm at.
You got to be moving.
Yeah, always moving. That's
moving,
right.
Or else you're going to be moving backwards.
Yeah.
No, and we're lucky. We've been growing since day one, thankfully. And I credit everything to our staff. We have an amazing staff. Right now, I think we have a A+ team, both front and back of the house. The servers and the front of the house team that we have really embrace our vision. Kind of like our vibe, what we wanted for Guajiros. Originally at the Guajiros, you had Nilo in the front, you had Sebas in the back. I'll come in every once in a while because I had a full-time job at the time, and you feel that. You feel when Nilo greets you and remembers your coffee order and all this stuff, which I don't know how he does. It's crazy how he does it. But our team has embraced that, and then they really put effort into, I'm going to remember this person. I know the regulars, hey, welcome back. And
Exactly.
And legitimately, like, remembering people. And so, I think we've grown faster than I expected because of that. Our team is actually embracing what we do, so it's easier for us. We get to do other stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm very happy.
John Burns, loving it. Roberto Lopez Guerra, loving the show. Nicholas says, let's not be toy here. Xavier loves the croquetas. That's his.
Yeah, me too. They're so hard to get. It's crazy. It's so hard to get. I've reached out to Catalina, and it's something about Virginia. So enjoy them.
Exactly. There's a lot of work that goes into that croqueta.
We actually, for a summer, I think we had a shirt, one of our employee shirts, that says, "Where are the croquetas?" Because for a summer we couldn't get them. Yeah. It was crazy. It was like, I called Catalina. I was like, we can't ship them, and it was crazy.
Fortunately, there's many other beautiful. I mean, the lechon asado is just like
lechon. Yeah, it's really good.
You put it I love it on the side, but also in the sandwich.
The sandwich is one of my favorites. Yeah. After 1,000 Cubanos, I think now I can move into lechon, pan con lechon, lechon sandwich. Every once in a while, not always.
Absolutely.
But that was a friend of mine, Alex Blanco. Shout out to Alex. He's the one who, when I started, he's like, here's a recipe. He's a Cuban chef. He lives in North Carolina right now. He's the one who's like, here's the recipe. Tweak it as you want. So there's some tweaks in there already. Yeah. But he's the one, the original lechon recipe that we do. It was
delicious. Wow,
a really good friend.
Yeah.
It really is fantastic. Absolutely. So as we get into the holiday season, what are some like Mayorga family recipes, traditions? What are some fun things you guys like to bring up in this time of year?
So a lot of things probably won't make the menu.
But
we
you
do.
Have to do the 5-hour stuffing on them.
But my mom's relleno is definitely the one thing that is done every year. Like I mentioned earlier, is why do we only do it in December? I have no clue. But it does take a lot of work and a lot of time to do it. So I can tell you earlier, I did it one year, and I like to believe I did a good job. But my mom is the one who makes it. It's a stuffing. It's pork base. It's delicious. I don't know how to explain it though. But my favorite part is it comes off of a notebook that is my mom's recipes, and I know Sebas has used that notebook to do some stuff in the kitchen, and Famous Tres Leches is in there. And
you feel it. I think that's one of the beauties of Guajiros, that you feel like it's food that just came out of a family kitchen.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the flavors are complex while also being simple. Nothing's like overly extravagant, right? It just feels homey. It feels like
and that's
home.
the goal. That's the goal, is to have to make you feel, even the decor and everything works off of that. Is we want you to come in and have a a feeling that you're in a restaurant, but we also want you to have a feeling that you're in our living room.
Yeah.
And that's where the service aspect comes about, and treat you like you're visiting our home, not our business.
Exactly.
And that, I think, has made us very
and that's exactly what happens. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's like you feel like you're just going home. All right, I haven't been there in a long time. You go home, it's like, oh yeah, okay, this is what I usually get.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Harvey, when can people what's the timeline that people can it doesn't have to be a precise date, but in other words, for how long should people be going to the West Main, and then?
So by the end of the year,
Okay.
and then I'm sure there will be a sign, and then I'll probably stand there and be like, no, just keep walking once we move. But the goal is to be into the new spot by the first week of January. So still give us December to
So
finish
through
up.
Christmas, people should still be heading on
Please
West
do,
Main.
yes. Make sure you're coming to West Main.
in.
There'll be, follow us on Instagram, Guajiros_CVille. That's going to be our announcements go through there, and then our Facebook page, which is connected to that. That's where the announcement is going to be. Website is probably going to have an update as well, but we are going to move. Hopefully, the last week of December, if everything works according to plan, knock on wood, we'll move there, and then the first week of January, we'll take a break that week. A break meaning we'll not work, and then work on other stuff, and then we'll be first week of January in the new.
Super.
We like to call it the 10th Street location now.
The 10th Street location. I love it. Love it. Harvey, it's an absolute pleasure. Always
Absolutely.
so fun
Thank
to
you
have
so
you
much.
on.
Yeah.
Really encourage everyone. Enjoy the current location.
Get going there. Enjoy that one. So just jump to the next one.
Look forward to a brand new year and a brand new location.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me.
No, thanks for
congratulations
coming
and the best of luck.
on.
Thank you.
Y feliz Navidad.
Igualmente.
So as we go ahead and swap here from one of our favorite two people to two more of our favorite people to have on the show.
Talk about Feliz Navidad. That's the music to the Feliz Navidad.
The music, absolutely. So we are really excited. They're walking on here. I have a question from good friend Lily Darai wanting to know, hey, what's the opera thing going on in a couple of weeks? And it's Oratorio. So she wants to know what's going on in a couple of weeks. So we have two people here to tell us what's going on in a couple of weeks with the Oratorio Society of Virginia. So we're really excited to welcome to the show this morning Christine Fairfield, the executive director, and Michael Slon, the music director from the Oratorio Society of Virginia. Christine, Michael, thanks so much for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, good morning. Great to see you guys again.
Same here.
And you guys say buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
dias.
There you are. We're good. We're good here now.
Perfect. But actually, I'm glad to be on today. I was a little jealous when you and Ben came on from Charlottesville Symphony, and I was
singers and
out
so
that.
forth.
I was like, oh my goodness.
That was a lot of fun. We had a good time that
That
day.
was a long one. That was an epic show.
That's right.
So I have to say I'm really glad. I was like, oh yes, good. I get to have one talking some beautiful music and everything. We're talking. Saturday, December 16th, 2:30 and 7:30 at the Paramount. It's the Christmas concert for the Oratorio Society of Virginia. I've had a chance to kind of look at a little bit. Nick sent the program and some things, but before we even kind of get there, I'm just curious. How do you, before we talk about the concert itself, maybe walk us through how do you even start developing? Like, what's kind of the process of what you say? All right, we have a Christmas concert. What do we want to put in it? What's kind of like, how do you even start developing it on kind of the music side and also just the putting it out there
Logistical side.
Well,
logistical side.
Should I take the
look for
musical
Christmas.
side first?
You go ahead with the musical side, yeah.
So just to let your listeners know again what the Oratorio Society is, right? It's a 90-voice community chorus. Obviously, I also do some groups at UVA, and we have wonderful people that join us from all over this area. Some of them an hour away in each direction. Wow. So it's wonderful that people seek it out. So now you're going to take this group of talented people and decide, okay, what are we going to do musically for the community? And there's a lot of holiday concerts this time of year, and as you know, I direct a couple of them, different ones, and each of them has a different flavor, right? And so this one, one of the special features about it is, and it's something I really inherited. The group had already started doing this even before my time, is that you have a lot of seasonal holiday favorites on the program,
right?
But you also present a somewhat longer work in the context of that concert. And so that has included part one, Handel's Messiah. It has included part of the Bach Christmas Oratorio. And this year, it's going to be the Rudder Gloria, which is a more, obviously, a much more contemporary piece, but that listeners tend to love. But I love that it allows audiences to kind of mix both their favorites and maybe something they're not absolutely familiar with, but that they will then end up being quite big on, that they'll really enjoy in a way they didn't expect, right? So I think that's one of the special things. And so every year, as I look at the program, obviously you want to find a balance of different moods in the shorter selections. I love to go, they shouldn't all feel the same one after the next. But to put a piece on that's good for the group, I think the group, wouldn't you agree, Christine, likes to be challenged?
Yes, absolutely.
By those larger works.
Yes.
I think that's kind of their bread and butter. As you know, next spring we're going to do Beethoven 9, the choral finale, as part of a celebration of the 200th anniversary of that piece.
Okay.
So, and then also, Alex, just to finish answering your question musically, I think it's also important, you have some diversity, so music from different backgrounds or types of composers and places. Exactly. It's like, going along with your previous guests, and I think I've been there with you guys.
That's right. Yeah, you were.
A menu. There's a menu, and in this case, you get more than one thing on the meal, right? You get quite a few different wonderful things.
Absolutely.
In that meal.
Exactly.
So that's kind of the musical side. I'll let Christine address the other sides.
Well, we start with behind-the-scenes planning as far back as last spring for this season, including a repertoire and selecting sort of that central larger work for the holiday concert. I think this last year we had already figured that out by March, April, before we'd completed the previous season. Yeah. And then once we wrap up our season and fiscal year, we start on strategizing how to get the word out and how to recruit singers and instrumentalists for the ensemble as well. So what I love about this year's concert is that the Gloria is performed with a brass ensemble and percussion. And if you've never listened to it, it's goosebump inducing. It's really fun to sing, to perform, but the overall experience of the ensemble with the chorus, I can't wait. I've not performed this with a brass ensemble before, and so I'm really excited.
And especially with the percussion, I won't give away too much, but the opening is rather memorable.
It is
very memorable.
It's interesting just to talk about it musically for a moment, and in the choral world, Rudder is kind of a household name. But when he wrote this piece in the early 70s, he was very young, and he was definitely, no one knew who he was in the United States. So this guy, Mel Olson, a choral conductor, was the one who got him to write it. And if Mel were alive, I'd be interested to ask him how had he realized that Rudder had this kind of potential.
Right.
And the two of them talked a lot about what kind of piece Mel thought a chorus would like, and Rudder still credits him with kind of inspiring his sense of what to put into a bigger scale work like this.
So I have a question, because one of the things about this particular concert in particular, right, is that there's so much familiarity with some of the songs, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever have people start singing also with you, and it's like?
We actually invite it.
Oh, okay.
So
there are some
at least one song.
What?
Yeah,
At
least one song will be a traditional carol arrangement of something that the chorus gets to sing along with. So yes, absolutely. Anyone that comes, bring your singing voices and be prepared to join in.
Just for that one, right?
Well, you give them the outlet, so it's like, you're all here, so that you're not.
It's funny.
Is that Xavier?
Well, Xavier, you're welcome to sing on any of them. What's interesting about that? Yes, Christine is exactly right. We definitely have a sing-along carol, which is great because I think it gets their blood moving, and you'd be surprised how people are actually shy about that. So otherwise singing, if they're so. I don't know. You don't get too many people
that try to jump in.
Other than, what is nice? Once in a while, a little kid who starts to, you hear that. That's lovely.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is meant to be a family concert. Yeah. It's at the big, beautiful Paramount.
Exactly, yeah. Well, that's the beauty of it, because what happens is when I go, you just get in the spirit right away, right? And it's like when I have the Christmas in the car, right? I have to sing. Of course, everybody in the back says, Pops, could you please quiet down so we can listen to real music as opposed to you messing this whole thing up? So
there's Michael Bublé and then there's you.
Exactly. So when you're in this big auditorium, it's like nobody's going to hear me. I can actually just sing, and they'll never know I'm out of tune.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Well, great. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you there and hearing you.
Absolutely. So on that vein, I'm just, when you're looking for some of the favorites, the ones that people will recognize, how do you decide how to mix them up so that there's, I guess, do you do them in different ways so that they're slightly new? Is the newness that maybe people have heard a solo singer sing it on a CD track but not a chorus before? How do you kind of approach the really familiar ones?
Yeah, there's an interesting example of that, Alex, on this program, actually. In fact, so I have never done the tune Christmas Time Is Here from the Charlie Brown Christmas special, right? So many people know the that one. And I'm actually doing it on two different concerts. I'm doing it on the family holiday concerts at UVA and with Oratorio, but two completely different arrangements, right? Oh. So the one is going to have a jazz vocalist with big band type texture. And the other one on this concert with Oratorio is a chorus with some accompaniment. And it's quite beautiful, actually.
It's one of my favorites.
You should hear the soprano section does a beautiful job of sounding like the kids on the TV show in a good way.
Right.
Yeah, and that's one that I think people will love and recognize. So I think partly the arrangements that you could allow variety. You could have the same tune; it could be arranged 10 or 5 different ways. Sometimes, Christine was mentioning the fact we have the brass and percussion this year. Sometimes we have strings and winds on this concert. So you have to plan to the instruments that you have. So there are a lot of wonderful arrangements, but you have to decide, okay, this year we have this, so can we try this arrangement because it utilizes the strings? This year, can we try this? Like we're doing some Canadian brass arrangements because it utilizes the idea of a brass quintet, right? And so that immediately lends different feels to it. And then again, I always think it's about pacing. Something upbeat, something more meditative or introspective. So that it's not all in your face and it's not all kind of slow.
It's a mixture, yeah.
I have a favorite arrangement this year of a very traditional tune. Everybody knows Joy to the World. This year we're doing a gospel arrangement that is really fun. And it's pushing us in different ways.
Including memory.
We have to sing this one memorized because we got to get some clapping going. And yeah,
I'm glad to hear that.
That one is.
So this is a gospel arrangement by Luther Henderson. And if your listeners look him up, he's a very distinguished African-American orchestrator, band leader, conductor, composer, did some work on Broadway. And he made this kind of very upbeat arrangement, I think, for the Canadian Brass many years ago. And it will hopefully have people, popping in their seats a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. There's always an energy to that.
Yes.
But an energy in a different way from I think mere percussion or jazz or something. It's hard to say. It's almost like an uplifting energy with the gospel arrangements.
I sure hope so.
You just feel like the big wind is kind of pushing you upwards. And it's just always beautiful to hear. So I'm excited for that one to take Joy to the World and go in that direction. As singers, Christine, does obviously brass is the accompaniment this time, which brass is very much, you can't hide brass. So as a singers, do you have to change anything in terms of when you're accompanied by brass as opposed to strings or something softer? Is there anything that changes in how you prepare?
Michael actually might have more to say to that, but from my personal experience, yes, absolutely. There's ways that you sing a little bit differently. We'll probably be fine-tuning that next week, the week before the concert, when we're actually practicing with the brass. So at this point, we've just been doing these with piano reduction or piano accompaniment in rehearsals. And so it will be, it will definitely change the experience for the singers when we add the brass in. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Balance. Yeah. That's the word there. Right. No matter who you're working with, you have to get a balance so that you can hear the singers well, hear the brass well, and as you say, brass can't really hide. So
Yeah.
Exactly. But it can add something beautiful. Go ahead.
No, so I was going to ask about something. So you were talking about the different arrangements, for a particular song. Are those arrangements already exist, or is that something that comes from you and say, I want to do this in a
usually,
strings or?
Most of the time they are on the market.
Okay.
You seek them out, and you purchase the scores, and then you do it. There are a couple different exceptions. One is I have occasionally arranged something for the group that we've done on not this year, but on other programs. In another instance, actually this year with a different program, I wrote an arranger who had a piece for soloist and orchestra, and I said, could you make this for chorus? And he was very obliging. So, there are different ways you can get it to something. But most of the time, especially as you would expect for this time of year, there's so much repertoire for this time of year. There is a lot of music out there. You could never perform it all, so there's a lot to choose from. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That must be incredible. How does the space now? I can't recall if it's always been in the Paramount, the Christmas concert, but
no.
How does that kind of play into it? Because it's a very festive.
So this actually predates Christine and I with the group. I mean, the organization, of course, is over 50 years old now, the longest running community chorus in Charlottesville, and they had done it for a while at Old Cabell before our time, and soon after the Paramount reopened. Right, they moved it to the Paramount, and I'm happy to say that since my time, and then certainly since you've come on too, we've really been able to build it up so that we do two programs, and they both sell rather well in that beautiful space. And I think it's unique because there's wonderful holiday concerts all during this time of year. Some are at Old Campbell, some are at churches. This is the only kind of homegrown one at the Paramount, right on the downtown mall.
Right.
And it's also usually the last one. It's the closest to Christmas in that sense. So that's nice. And we also have some guest groups.
We do. Yes. Every year at our holiday concerts, we invite other ensembles, usually youth or children's choirs, but this year we have, so for our 2:30 performance this year, we will have the Albemarle High School Patriot Singers, which is like their auditioned sort of elite chamber group, and we're excited to have them with us. And then the evening program is a special guest, a Ukrainian family that some people may know from hearing them play on the downtown mall.
Yeah, the Melachenko family.
The Melachenko family. And they're going to be playing some Christmas music for us.
They have recently kind of emigrated, and they're very talented. And so we're excited for audiences to hear them too, who may not have heard them. And, Carol of the Bells is originally Ukrainian carol, so that will definitely be one of the tunes they play.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
and they got the fathers like on an accordion and the daughters on a violin.
Wow.
Oh, there is something beautiful and
So it's kind of home
classic to see like a family ensemble. Does it kind of, I don't know, in some ways it reminds me of the time when that was your form of entertainment.
That's true. In your house.
You do things in your house.
Yeah.
Particularly at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Because that's how, there was no TV, there was no radio,
no
there
CDs.
was no CDs.
Yeah,
so you made
No
music.
streaming.
No streaming. That's right.
No YouTube.
Yeah, true. Yeah, here I am doing CDs and stuff, and the audience is like,
Cassette
"You mean no
tape.
Spotify? It didn't exist."
A family ensemble, that makes me think of you guys, right?
Oh, yeah.
You guys are a family ensemble of a different kind.
Different kind. Yeah. We just
Slightly less musically.
They play
Well,
some
I play
instruments.
the piano.
But my wife's family, right? Her father
Was very
played the
musically
piano
gifted.
by ear. None of these had any training.
Yeah.
They played, what is that called? The
accordion.
Accordion. The accordion. Somebody played the guitar. Somebody else played the violin.
Yeah.
So at Christmas, that's what they do. They get together, they sing, they play, and no training whatsoever.
Do you know what that reminds me of, Xavier? And this is a really beautiful thought. So I think everybody, if they have a chance, should make a little holiday music in their home. And to your point, you don't have to be well trained. Just get around the piano or just sing or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember with my grandfather and father looking at Polish Christmas carols, because my grandfather, that side of the family is Polish. And there's a picture of the three of us around the piano. My grandfather played some fiddle, and my dad was pretty good at many instruments, and we all sang. That's very special. And so, I mean, I think for our concert, we can think of it like a big living room.
Yes.
Everybody come in and we'll enjoy it together. But it's also good for people to do it on their own at home.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah.
I think the beauty of chorus is that you can inspire people to do that. Because I think sometimes people, when you hear a solo singer sing a song, the gut reaction might be like, oh man, I can't do that. Like if I tried to sing that with just me, I'd butcher it. But the beauty of chorus is you put so many talented people together, and there is a way in which you kind of enter into it and say, well, when you mix so many beautiful voices, you're all kind of helping each other. I think isn't it called like the auto-tune, in a sense where you're all joining in on the music and helping each other in a sense. And I think that's something that people can kind of take with them and say, yes, maybe by myself I'd be nervous, but if 5, 6 people, 10 people at a holiday party all sing together, you can kind of lift each other up. But as chorus, I mean, I'm biased, I'm partial to chorus, but I feel like chorus lifts up music to another level. There's sort of a, when you listen, I mean, maybe this will transition us a little bit to even talking about spring, but when you hear the chorus come in Beethoven's Ninth, you just go to a new It starts with just the one singer.
Yeah.
Right?
The soloist,
The soloist in that, and you say, okay, where's this going? He's introducing, and then when you hear it all come in, it just takes you to a new...
Christine will have a perspective on this in a minute as someone who's also a professional singer. I want to just add to what you're saying. I mean, right, if you sing at home and there's a group of people, that's lovely around the piano. And the thing that's special about this, obviously, is that not only do you magnify that by numbers, but this is also not a sing-along, right? This group gets together and rehearses to achieve a serious level of music making. And so there again, it's something in a way you couldn't experience in your living room.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
And so it does take it to another level, like you say, extremely uplifting, and I think rewarding for the singers, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. And I think, for me personally, again, music is definitely a part of my family life, and growing up as well, and at holidays, and when my siblings come into town, there's still music making around the piano. But it's, I think it's really fun to see the chorus, which is made up of singers as young as high school all the way up to retirees. That number of people come together and create something of the caliber that we're able to do. And it's just something really special. And then we take so much pleasure from sharing that, that it's not just about what we're doing, but it's about communicating with the audience and connecting and creating a beautiful experience to celebrate the season.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, the only thing I wonder, in today's world, we have the ability to listen to music through so many, you know, like you said, CDs or streaming, whatever, right? But I remember my parents used to work together, and they would always sing. I know they didn't have the radio on, you know, and we didn't have a player at that time, and there was no radio. But they would always sing. They'd have the different voices. You know how one's got
harmony,
harmony, And I would always remember them singing. And the same thing in my family in Spain. They always would sing, right? But in today's world, I just get the feeling that it's so much easier just to turn on your CD or your headset or whatever it is that you're listening to, that maybe that little tradition it begins to disappear unless you happen to be a family that just all of you love
hence
music.
Why things like this opportunity are so beautiful, because there is a difference with live music.
100%.
It's
huge.
Huge. You could call it whatever you want. I know. I always love the Berlioz used to call it the musical fluids that would go through people. He literally believed.
Oh, Berlioz, yeah.
Berlioz, that you would have musical fluids through it. I mean, I'd say probably vibrations is what he was getting at, but in his day and age, he's like.
And he made a lot of vibrations.
And he made it. And just you feel it, and especially with chorus. I mean, it's funny. I listen to it on in the car and stuff, but there's always a sense of. It just cannot capture. You cannot capture, particularly chorus, on a recording, because you can't capture, I think, the depth of, especially of so many talented voices today. That's one, I think, the best part of Oratorio Society. You're not talking 10 people, 15 people. You're talking a large
It's a big
chorus.
Yeah.
And there is a depth and a vibration there that you cannot get by listening to music over the. I mean, I love that you guys have the live stream option, but listening to Spotify, you will not capture these same pieces. You will not capture them and feel them the same way as you will by attending a live concert like this.
I completely agree.
Yeah. 100%, yeah. And listen, I just think it's like that in all music, you know, in the sense of, you know, like the symphonies, when you listen, you're going to listen to a symphony live. It's like you now that every single instrument you hear, you just, because I don't know if it's visually, you're looking around and you're hearing the instrument, as opposed to when you just listen it on, you know, through whatever, you know, modem you listen to, it's just so different. You know?
And with the singers too, you can do that. It's beautiful because they're with such talent. I notice you often layer. Not everybody's singing the same tune.
No,
the
there's
whole
many
time.
different
And
things
you can. It's beautiful when you're there to try to pick out and say, "Oh, I see what they're singing. I see they come in a little late. Like they're singing this tune, they're singing this, and there's a harmony being created." You can, even though that it's not like one person's playing a violin and one person's playing a drum. You can tell they're doing two different things. You can. If you look carefully, that's part of the joy, I think, for me of going is 100%. You can see all the different groups within the whole chorus singing the different parts and coming together. And it's almost like it's a very interactive experience, even on the ones where you're not singing along. Yeah. It's still very interactive in the way that it happens. Yeah.
That's what's nice sometimes. I'll look at the conductor, right? And you can just see that he'll go.
And
all of a sudden you just see them come in. And it's wonderful because, It's
so funny you mentioned that. I had a mentor once who this is a conducting class, and he said, and this was not a cheap comment, he said, okay, this is really an audience cue. And what he meant was not that the conductor is showing off for the audience, anything like that it was about the music, but that by literally directing your attention toward a certain line in the texture, the audience, because of that visual component, will be drawn to hear it more clearly.
That's right.
Right? And that's an interesting... Which is all another way to say everybody should come to the Paramount on
December 16th and experience it.
We would love to have you and share this music.
Oh, it will be tremendous. Are there any others in the program that you're like, okay, people really need to know that this is in there? I'm really excited about this one.
I like them all. So
I like them all too. For those aficionados of more contemporary music, we will be singing a piece by Morton Lordson. Sure, on This Shining Night, which is just a gorgeous piece, and an arrangement by Charles Ives, which I also
almost never done.
Yeah,
it's called A Christmas Carol, and it's very introspective. It's kind of asking questions about how do we perceive this season. It's quite nice. It was originally a solo song, and then it got arranged later for chorus. Yeah. And then, of course, audience, favorites. We have First Noel, Sing Along, and Ding Dong Merrily on High, and as we said, Joy to the World, and those kind of things as well.
All the beautiful ones. Little Tchaikovsky, too. I think
yes, the Tchaikovsky. That was kind of funny.
A choral arrangement of Sugar Plum Fairy.
I was about to say,
tricky.
That must be, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, that's right.
It's always fun to take those, because I think Nutcracker particularly, it's so well known.
It's iconic.
That you can do different things with it, and people know immediately, okay, all right, I know what this is, I know I can
That's
see
quite true. Yeah, it'll be fun.
It's going to be fantastic. Again, this Saturday, December 16th, so you got a 2:30 showing
and a 7:30
showing, both at the Paramount.
Both at Paramount. How do we get tickets?
Theparamount.net. So you can get tickets from their website or by calling their box office or visiting their box office during hours.
Oh, it's going to be wonderful. Really encourage everyone to go. And then next year, we've got.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes peeled. I know where would be the best place to kind of keep your eyes peeled for especially that
for
Beethoven,
the spring season.
Oratorio Society.
So we have a concert in March 9th, Saturday, March 9th, is a concert of music from the theater, so opera, operetta, Broadway. That's going to be really fun. And then our Beethoven concert on May May 10th and May 12th.
So-
And more information on both of those can be found on our website,
Yeah.
oratoriosociety.org.
Exactly.
And tickets will be available on our website
On
for
your
both
website.
of those. Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful. So keep your eyes peeled on oratoriosociety.org. And for right now, just go to paramount.net.
Yes.
And
That's
go
right.
ahead and get those tickets because, like Michael said, they sell
Yeah.
out. So do not
And
wait.
it's, yeah, I mean, listen, it's
the
very
last
easy, and
minutes.
then you see all the seats, so you can pick what
You
seat
pick
you
your
want.
seat.
Yes.
Yeah, there aren't too many left, but go for
for it.
Get the
Go
last
for it.
one.
Go for it. Go for it.
And come to all the wonderful things this
Yeah,
season.
absolutely.
Oh yes, there's so many beautiful.
Oh, we have
ones
this
happening.
Messiah singing next week, for example. If you want to get singing for everything, over
right.
at Old
There you
Cabell,
go.
December 5th.
You can sing the whole thing.
There you can see.
Sing the whole Messiah. There
Oh,
you
Messiah.
go.
I love that
Absolutely.
Messiah.
Christine, Michael, it's always such a pleasure to have you
you.
both on.
Likewise.
Really,
Yes,
just a
very
true
good.
joy.
It's
Our
likewise.
pleasure.
No,
Yeah.
you bring the joy. So thanks for having us again.
And thanks for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thanks for coming. Fantastic show today.
absolutely.
Love it.
As we know
always.
it was going
It's-
to be. This is why we
yeah.
had all that
we,
fist
we
fighting.
knew. That's why exactly. That's why we were battling to see who would get the honor of being
Being
on
here.
the show this morning. So always a pleasure to
Same
be
here.
here. With
Welcome
you.
back.
Oh, glad
Nice
to
to
be
have you back.
Glad to be back. Next week we're going to have Basketful Lifestyle and Gifts. So Basketful is the name,
Okay.
and that's Lifestyle and Gifts. And then Scott Elliff, the owner of Ducard Vineyards, is going to be joining us next
Okay.
week. So some more fantastic local guests. Thank you, as always, to Judah behind the camera, making it all work. This is how it comes together. Thanks, Emergent Financial Services, Castle Hill Cider, Matthias, Realty, Craddock, Serious Insurance, Forward, Adelante. Thank you for being with me.
Thank you
Always-
for coming back and sharing all your wonderful thoughts with us.
Oh no, it's always a pleasure to be on. So really appreciate. Thanks to everyone who commented, liked. We had so many fantastic commenters and just likes and shares this morning. Really appreciate all of you. Be sure to send us any questions, comments, people you want us to feature. Remember, there's no cost to come on. So if you had an entrepreneur local that wants to really just share their business and what they do. So be sure to send them our way. Be sure to check out Guajiros Wallets in its spot before Christmas.
That's right.
And be sure to get those tickets for December 16th, Saturday, 2:30, 7:30.
you'll enjoy it,
concerts,
for sure. It's a lot
Oratorio
of fun.
Society. So be sure to check that all out. We look forward to seeing you next week. But until that time, as we like to close it out on the show, hasta mañana.